Welcome back to Monday Night Esports. I'm Ashton,
I'm Ivy.
and we have a wonderful game of the Academy Valorant on our hands today. We will be having a little bit of a bit to wait as we're getting the map pool picks together and getting everybody in the lobby and getting ready to get started. But what are your thoughts going into this game? I mean, what are your expectations?
As someone who's played with this team before, I have really high expectations, especially from if you see Japeth on Duelist and Tweefruit Guy on Chamber. I think he's Chamber on nearly every map, but those two are top performers by far. They're both insanely good, and I think watching them play is always a really fun time.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you having that insight, what maps do they usually go for, and what are their stronger picks?
Oh, Fracture is definitely the strongest map by far. That's the one that we've seen a lot of great success on. I think another one is usually Haven. That's one of our top performing ones, and Ascent by far. Our Smokes player, Justin, is insane on Omen on Ascent. That's his best performing map, and there was this really wacky Omen teleport play he was able to get off in a 1v3 situation, so really hoping that we get to see more of that this week.
All right, yeah, for sure. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot from this team as I usually cast the varsity Valorant games, but I'm hearing some great things from them. Talked with the boys back in the room. They're pretty excited. They're ready. They're definitely hyped up and ready to go, and I'm excited to see how they do. They've been pulling out some pretty good performances from what I've seen as well. Some of their games that they've played, just like behind me in the open room when I'm casting varsity. So I'm glad that they're able to pull out some wins, and I think that this game will be pretty convincing game just to see how their skill level has improved as a team and just their cohesion together. I mean, these guys have been playing together for I think about couple months, right?
Yeah, I think a couple months was when the team really came together. I think even though Ben's our newest addition, Tweefruit Guy, he's still really meshed well with the team and is able to work with the team so well. So I'm really excited to see how they've improved as a team over the past couple months. And I love Valorant so much, so I dressed up as one of the Valorant characters for Halloween today.
Perfect cosplay.
I am Killjoy, so unfortunately Killjoy doesn't get played much. So
I mean, hey, if we see Ascent come out, we might see a Killjoy pick.
We might see a Killjoy pick.
Killjoy is one of the top performing picks on that map. I mean, just the utility with the turret and just being able to have a little bit more map control without actually being there is unbelievably useful. And I mean, you mentioned Tweefruit Guy on the Chamber, Ben, I'm assuming, and I'm curious to see how he'll play the Chamber, because everybody plays him differently.
Yeah.
So you're gonna pick. I'm wondering. Obviously, you've seen him play, but I'm curious to see if he'll maybe play a bit more of an aggressive role with the Chamber.
Oh,
maybe
he's
some,
he's definitely an
sneaky
aggressive
TPs in
Chamber.
there.
Yeah.
All right. That'll be. I'll be really interested to see that, because Chamber typically does tend to be a bit more of a passive player and a lot more of get one, get out type of deal. So being able to use that, using his teleports to really just take advantage of being able to get one and get out in a lot more of an aggressive manner.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, and maybe also with some cohesion with some other of his teammates' picks as well.
Yeah.
Using maybe a KO flash or something like that. I think that could go really well with it.
Yeah, it's still really awkward to watch KO players play now, especially with the recent nerfs. If anyone isn't aware, KO recently got nerfed, so he can no longer pop flash, which is just a quicker flash toss that he's able to do at a short distance as opposed to a full-on throw. And that's kind of really ruined a bit of the gameplay momentum that a lot of people have had for him, especially now if people have to come up with the lineups and more calculated ways to hit that flash without it being super short on the pop flash. So hopefully, I think they've really adapted well to those changes, and I think that we're going to see that today, because I know KO is a pretty big pick on most of our maps. You'll be seeing Gaddis play him a lot. He's really good at KO. He doesn't think he is, but I think he is.
A little bit of imposter syndrome, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, he's got those KO skills down. And then I think the one person I haven't talked about yet is our boy Ambo. He's also one of our initiator players, and you're probably gonna see him playing a lot of Fade, a lot of Breach.
Okay.
Those are his big two. But yeah, he's also pretty good at those. So I really like the double initiator comps that the teams like to play. I think that's run on every map I think that they have. I think there's a couple of maps where they mix it up a little bit from the typical like one duelist, double initiator, one sentinel, one controller. I think on bind they usually run double controller with no sentinel. That was a more recent change to accommodate to Ben joining the team. Since he's also a controller main, we already had one, so instead of having him play Sage or Chamber, he now plays Viper. And then on Fracture, it's actually quite meta to not run a duelist, so we'll have someone playing Sage, and then we'll have a Chamber on the team as well. So.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Chamber does take up that duelist role quite well due to his abilities and kill making plays with his obviously his ultimate and his headhunter. And we did just get the map pool, and it will be Fracture first map, Ascent second map, and Bind for the third. We're still waiting on the sides. But that will be the map pick.
I'm so glad that Fracture is their first map because I think, especially with Fracture and Ascent, those are definitely by far their top 2 maps. So definitely going to be a super strong opening for Champlain.
Considering how they're moving on the screen, I'm going to assume that they're going to start the attacking side on Fracture. I could be wrong. But
yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to start on attack on Fracture, which that's definitely the stronger half.
And then Champlain will be starting defender side on Ascent and defending side on Bind as well. I'm quite interested to see, so NEC Red picked Ascent, I'm assuming, because we have the defender side as a second map. So we won the coin flip. We got the first map pick. And I'm curious, because of the fact that Ascent, you say, is such a strong map for us as well, Bind might not be as much so. So hopefully this could be a quick 2-0.
Yeah.
Or if we see it go to a map 3, I'm interested in the ability for Champlain to adapt to that map pick and see how they can counter NEC Red.
Yeah.
And also I'm curious to what NEC Red will be able to pull out. But I think we still got a little ways to go. So I think we should throw it to break until we get everything sorted and we get to the agent map picks.
Yep.
All right. See you guys in a bit. And we are back. After a bit of a wait time, we have everybody in the lobby, and we're getting ready for the first map of Fracture, and Champlain will be starting on the attacking side. And attacking side usually gets picked first because you get the most rounds done on that side, and or it's like the most. Is it the most difficult side? Because I know Counter-Strike, you want CT side first because it's the easiest half. You get that done with. You get as many rounds as you can there, and then you're really focused and ready for the next half, which is more difficult.
In my opinion, it really depends on the map. I think for Fracture in particular, because of how the attack, you can come from 2 different sides at once. I find it to be kind of attack dominant.
Okay. Because
you're able to easily kind of flank around in a way, but
okay, yeah, no, that makes sense because if you get the whole point of that first side pick is the fact that you get to be up. Actually, no, we didn't get to pick a picked side, so we actually want defending sides. We have the attacking side for the last half, which is nice. I think that Champlain will do fine starting on the attacking half. I mean, Fracture is a pretty balanced map in my opinion. From the times that I've played it.
I love Fracture. I think
it's a great map.
It's very widely hated amongst the community, but I think the problem is that a lot of people play it and then don't communicate with their team.
Yeah.
And that's a really big, especially because, as I said, of like that 2-side attacking. It's really, really hard to do it without communicating like effectively every single time you see anything. So I find that a lot of people hate it because they don't know how to communicate. And I think that if you know how to communicate it, it's a really, really fun map.
I'm looking at the chat right now.
Yeah, it looks like we're having a little difficulty right now.
Jeez. All right. We're having a bit of trouble. A little bit of a misunderstanding.
This is not a great night for us.
not an awesome night, but I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. I can talk a bit more about. Yeah. I can talk a bit more about Fracture. Yeah.
For sure.
After like watching the team time and time again, I think our attack is definitely really strong on this map. I think defense is equally as strong. I don't think it's going to be like one-sided on both sides. So like, because usually when you see maps that are like attack heavy, you'll see like the first team will be really strong in attack, and then when they go on defense, they're going to be kind of bad, and then the other team will be really strong when they're attacking. I think on this map, our attack and defense are both equally very strong, so I think we're going to see a lot of wins for Champlain on that side. And then hopefully we are able to get to the game soon. Sorry for the wait.
They're still sorting out. They're being a little weirded out by the stream, but it's all good. Honestly, I love your thoughts on Fracture. I'm kind of thinking about Ascent because I know one of my friends in another school talks about it, and I've been playing with that guy since like 2016, and he moved from Counter-Strike to Valorant as soon as it came out. And he talked about Ascent in a lot of ways that it's very similar to a map that we have in Counter-Strike called Mirage. And Mirage is so mid-heavy. You need
Yes,
map
I was going
control
to say
in mid.
the big thing about Ascent is being able to control that mid area, because time and time again you'll see that teams rotate through that area. So if they go and hit A and A doesn't work, they're probably going to peek through mid. At least one person will go through, maybe two, so that person has a backup to trade them out. And it's so important to get that mid control early on. Especially on defense, it's a lot easier because you're able to kind of sit and wait for a peek from the top of cat. But once again, it's like one of those big things that needs to be focused on, which is why I think with us starting on defense on Ascent, it's going to be incredibly strong for Champlain.
And I mean, that map control in the middle of the map is just incredibly important on attacking side as well, because that lurk that you can do on attacking side. I mean, you can split from two different areas, one in B main and then people going up market, even cutting into CT and cutting off the rotate as well if you get that map control. And I mean, I think that's what Champlain does need to look out for on the defending side, is to make sure that, first of all, we control that map, that part of the map, and then also watching for any sort of like that cutoff for to watch that rotation, because that is incredibly dangerous. I mean, if you have one person lurking around market area watching into CT as somebody rotates down from heaven, going towards B, going towards A, vice versa, that kind of direction, that can be incredibly dangerous and can really just spell disaster for a round that you might have had in the bag. I mean, that's an easy, even if it's a 4-on-2 retake, or a 4-on-3 retake, I should say, because you wouldn't have one person on site and one person lurking. But if it was a 4-on-3 retake, that can so easily turn into a 2-on-3 retake with someone behind you, and that's just impossible.
Yeah. Retakes are definitely a big thing on Ascent. You're going to see probably a lot of retakes on Champlain when they're playing on defense. That's one of the big things that we try to emphasize, is trying to make sure that we can retake sites. For those of you that don't know the game, retake is a term that's used when you're defending a site and the enemy team comes, they're attacking, and they come onto site, and the entire defending team kind of pulls off, regroups, and then waits, or dies. They pretty much just kind of pull back, don't try to engage in any fights, and they wait until the whole team is there, wait for Spike to go down, and then decide to retake the site, hence the name retake.
Then on Bind as well, Bind is a great map with those quick pathways for those retakes with the teleports, and also the kind of bait plays you can make with that. I mean, I know with Omen you can set your TP right outside of one, jump into the TP, and it completely fakes out the teleport, and then all the people on the enemy team have. Sorry, I got caught up with chat. All the people on the enemy team are like, "Oh, yo, they took teleport. They're going to the other side of the map," but really, they just completely teleported outside of they teleported outside of the teleport. And completely, like, just those bait and switch plays, and also using the teleports to quickly rotate on either attack and defending side, depending on which way the gunfights really fall, whether that's in Champlain's favor or in NEC's favor, depending on, you know, everything that takes place in a gunfight. I mean, positioning, who's hitting their shots, and utility usage as well. I mean, if you're fighting on like B for a really long time and you can't get out onto site, taking that teleport and just really quick blasting out showers, getting onto A could be a very good option for you.
Yeah, and as you said, the reason why Omen is so strong on that map is because when he TPs, he makes no sound, no noise. And I try to say sound and noise at the same time because same word. But the thing is Chamber can do something pretty similar. It's just his TPs make a loud sound, which is why it's not as effective. So it's kind of insane. Also, like, Bind having those TPs is the reason why it's such an important thing to do, is to anchor sites. Another Valorant term, for those that aren't aware, it's pretty much when you're on defense and you see a bunch of enemies. So say you're sitting on A site, you're waiting, no one's coming, and you see a bunch of people on B. You have your entire team rotate to B but one person, and that person's the anchor. They'll say on A just in case they do end up coming around. So on Bind, they can just take that big TP right over to A and it keeps it from having to be a retake situation where you can still hold a lot of choke points on your own, especially as you just said with showers. That's such a huge choke point on that map. The walls to showers are wall bangable. It's really easy to get some easy kills, and you can easily get 1, maybe 2 kills before you're traded out by the enemy team. So that's definitely something that you're going to see a lot of from Champlain Unbind as well, is that kind of emphasis on anchoring someone to a site. And usually, because we do have 2 controllers for that map, you'll see usually one of the 2 controllers. So either you'll see Brim staying A or Viper staying B, something like that. Just because those are the best at defending because they are controllers.
And obviously not obviously, but the topic of wall banging is just shooting through walls.
Yes.
Valorant does have a gun mechanic where you can shoot through basically anything. The walls are made of paper. There's not a whole lot of resistance for the bullets to go through, so you can get some cheeky kills even if an enemy is fallen back behind a wall. It's also, there's some lineups as well, where if you line up on a specific part of a wall and you stand somewhere, you can fire into a very common area of the map as well. That's pretty often. That happens pretty often. And also, I mean, being that anchor, it also, if you stay alive as that anchor, you can let the plant go down, but because of the map control that you have, it makes it infinitely easier for your teammates coming back in to retake, because they don't have to worry about that. I mean, say you're in showers, right, as the anchor. You've pushed up, you're like, nobody's here. Your team rotates off to B, but then everybody starts coming in through A short, the attacking team, and they plant. You don't have to, your team doesn't have to worry about showers at all as long as that guy stays alive.
Yeah.
Because that's that map control that you have control of, and it's something the enemy team also has to be very anxious about. And just that mental pressure of just knowing there could be someone there could be someone, it really puts a damper into like their aim. Their mental goes all the way down the drain if they don't know. They don't have that map control. They don't have that knowledge. I mean, just staying alive in those situations is so impactful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Even like, I know it's not nearly the same game, but it's kind of like how in League of Legends there's vision score, where it's like having that control over the map.
We just got the go ahead to stream, so that's why we got the thing.
I think we got a loud scream from Andrew. I recognize that voice. So.
I'd recognize homie anywhere, bro.
So I don't know if it picked up on stream or not, but he got really excited that we could stream. But
yeah, we just had to kind of explain our situation. The other team was a little psyched out because we do play as an observer, but our situation is we are out here. The screen that we see is completely segregated off from the room over there. They have no vision into this at any rate. So it's perfectly good. Delay as well, all that good stuff. Just making sure everything's really secure. We are whitelisted as well to stream on NECC. We have, I guess, a deal with them. I'm not 100% sure how that goes down.
Yeah, so it's kind of, you just sign up and they kind of verify that the players can't see what we see. So we do have a monitor up with our gameplay that's showed to us. And because we are in observer slot as opposed to coach slot, we can see everyone in the game, which includes both attack side and defense side. Super cool stuff. Really
it helps us make better calls.
Yeah, it helps us kind of explain what's going on, because it's kind of awkward if we can't see where the enemy is when they're like right around the corner, and so we're able to kind of see that before it happens. But instead of a coach slot, you can only see the side that you're assigned to.
And I mean, for example, we can look at the mini map and really see everything that's going on with the game and give you a almost perfect explanation of what's going on. And here we go, starting into Fracture. Champlain starting on the attacking side with their 4 picks already hovered over.
Yeah, this is a typical Fracture comp for us.
Yeah, we see the KO coming out. I mean, I'm trying to think. Obviously, I did watch a little bit of VCT in Istanbul. And Optic was really strong on Fracture. I mean, if you remember the Crashies play on ropes, got a really nice ace. All of the enemy team was rotating through the center ropes, and they just got caught. Nothing they can do about that. But Champlain's comp is secured. We have a Breach, Brim, Raze, Chamber, and KO going top to bottom. Breach,
just so you're aware of like who we're talking about, because it's easier usually to say the agent names.
Yeah.
And on the enemy team, from top to bottom, you have Jet, Fade, Breach, Brim, and Chamber.
Oh, locked in. There we go.
Breach puck, yeah. So these are 2 both like fairly common Fracture comps that I've seen. almost mirror. You do see that Fade versus KO and then that Jet versus Raze. They do both have their upsides and downsides. I find that Fade is really good for getting that deep info in a similar way to Sova, kind of showing where they are on the map, and Jet is definitely really good for verticality.
I'm really curious how they're going to deal with no KO.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the names of everybody on
Yes.
there. That's awesome. We struggle with that sometimes, but basically, all right. So now we see Champlain getting set up for the pistol round. The pistol round, as a lot of people who play TAC FPSs know, but not everybody would know, is pistol round is the most important round of the entire game. That is because it sets up the economy for the rest of the match. I mean, if Champlain win this and they go into they win the pistol round, they go into the next round with an immediate advantage. And so basically what that advantage is it's completely economy. This game is economy based, and so you have to buy your guns. And so by winning the pistol round, you have you get more money and you get better guns with that. And here we see Gaddis and Tweet Fruit Guy peeking into B main, getting picked off by Stoner. Stoner falling back a little bit, caught by the KO knife and the chamber as well, suppressing their utility usage.
A really fast B execute here. You see Ambo get caught out by the chamber, and Spike is down on site.
Josh picking up 2 here, picking up Buki, trading Gaddis out. Now he's left 22 health in a 1v2 situation. Both players, the bomb Spike is down.
And he's
on
smoked
the
off
middle
from
of sight and is completely denied visibility out of arcade. Here's
So
some
what
steps.
you see, what you see is their enemy team is kind of setting up themselves into tradable positions. One of them kind of focusing more on watching that arcade area right now where Josh kind of is. The other one looking more up at tower just to see where he's gonna go.
I think Josh definitely has the opportunity. Caught with util out in hand, does not manage to get the kill, gets tagged by the Haunt. That does show his position. And now NEC completely ready and aware as to where he is.
And throwing out more util at him.
They have to know what his health is, and they should adjust accordingly. They think he's gone tower, but does not fall to the bait. Gets the body shot on him, and now NEC is in the economical advantage, and Champlain goes into the round with nothing.
Yeah, so what you're gonna see here is usually what happens is when you win pistol round, you kind of buy up for next round. So you'll see a lot of guns like the Spectre, the Stinger, kind of like cheaper guns that are still much better than just having a pistol on NEC's side, while Champlain is still gonna have their pistols, probably mostly classics. You might see a Ghost, but it's mostly just gonna be a gun disparity here.
And Chamber, Tweet Fruit Guy, has his teleport set up towards B main to get out of the action quickly. As you can see, he gets stunned by NEC's breach. Here's the Jet pushing up close, gets Spectre down, and Champlain cues the push going into
The rest
the
of the team pushing
site.
through tower from arcade. Trying to catch out that Jet, it looks like. They know where she is.
Here's the damage being taken by the paint shells. The Jet opting to just hide in the corner to just create that little bit of anxiety that I was talking about. Ambo getting one, not able to clean up, and NEC goes into this fairly easy round with 3 alive. That's kind of what we expected, honestly, with the gun disadvantage. Champlain, fortunately, taking 2 guns off of them, so they will have to rebuy into the next round. That will take 2 of them down onto the same level as Champlain economically, but 3 players from NEC will be in the advantage.
Yeah, and what you'll see here is now Champlain will be able to buy full rifles. So usually how it kind of goes for most Valorant games is the first 3 rounds will usually end up being 2-1 in favor of one team. So the losing team for the 3rd round will usually buy full rifles, so this is where you'll see Vandals, Phantoms, while the enemy team, in this case NEC, will still have their Spectres. Some players might save if they died last round, but mostly you'll see a gun disadvantage in Champlain's favor.
Here we see Champlain with full rifles, if I can remember correctly. Tweet Fruit Guy not quite able to get a tag off, but teleports out into safety with just a chip on his shoulder. And they seem to be poised for a bit of a default, just gathering information spreading
Yeah.
out across the map, gaining map control. Pick off by Josh.
Yeah.
Raise. I don't know how his username is pronounced.
And
Gaddis getting one as
a
well.
pick, yeah. That KO or that chamber did get a bit aggressive, so
2 players
you see.
left in A main.
Yeah,
Get the pick
Ambo.
on that too, and this is looking like a pretty clean round from Champlain. I mean, the people from the enemy team, NEC, they're so spread out, one on each site, probably
NEC.
calling to one another, figuring out where they're going.
Fade at
Stoner
very low health too.
with a Spectre, and Champlain opts to rotate towards the A site if they have more map control. Flash coming out. Ambo gets the kill onto NEC's Fade, one shot. And they must expect that Stoner is either going to try his best to save a gun or rotate and try the 1v5 retake. Spike dropped onto Breach. No information given by that KO knife. And Stoner
Stoner just chilling on B site. I guess
opting
he's
to
just
save
hoping. I think he's also hoping for like a pick that he can grab.
and exit.
I think he was expecting probably someone to still be over there just due to like how defaults work. You
Yeah.
usually expect someone to still be over there when they plant. However, now he's running over to A where Gaddis is watching.
Will Stoner try to go for exits. Gets one onto Gaddis. All of Champlain alerted his position, but they opt to not push it and allow him to get the gun. The gunfight, there's a gunfight happening, but
And the spike is
Sweet fruit.
about to explode, so as they all clear sight, you see Japath going for Stoner. Oh, and he
Stoner
loses
also
it.
picking up Japath. Taking away 2 guns from Champlain. That is not optimal, but it is nothing they can't come back from. That is a 2-1 in the round score to NEC. Champlain on the foot. They have 1 foot in the door, and they can get started now. A little bit of momentum. Couple slower rounds. They're really taking their time, gaining map knowledge, getting map space, trying to picture where all of the NEC members are, and NEC just playing their game, defending, trying to halt the pushes.
You see they have Jet ult this round on the enemy team.
Tweet Fruit Guy getting a quick pick onto Noel as Champlain lean more towards a B hit as they pick off 2 of them. Stoner as well drops. And now it is a 3-on-5. Champlain with the player advantage. 1 drops. Tweet Fruit Guy taken down by Shotbow. And as the smokes come out from the side of Champlain, completely taking away information from NEC. I think the tag did get off. Breach after shock, if I remember correctly, goes out to deal some damage to stop the plant, which it does, but it doesn't prevent the plant from going down outright.
Yeah, so it's a
Gets a quick kill onto 1 shot, and then another one onto
Void
Buki, but NEC's Chamber, I'm Anthony, getting 2 quick kills onto Champlain, leaving it in a 2-on-1. And Champlain opts to play a bit of a crossfire, 1 in tower and 1 in the defender spawn.
I think you're seeing Void Demon move back, so he does have his ult as Brim, which, if you haven't seen the game before, is kind of this big, like, kind of lasery thing that
hellfire.
comes out of the sky and just, like, hits a very wide area.
It's really good to stop diffuses and
yeah.
even stop plants and just really waste the time. But Gaddis,
Gaddis
ult
got
not
that
even
kill.
needed, peeks into Anthony and gets the quick kill onto him.
I think Champlain is almost at full ults. You have KO ult, Raze ult, Brim ult, and Breach ult, so you're definitely going to see someone use them that round, or this coming round. Probably we're going to see KO ult kind of used to push sites. That one's really important because it just turns off the ability for enemies to use their utility, any of their abilities, like pretty much a lot of the things that make the agents go like tick. And so they have to purely focus on aim when it comes to dealing with that.
And while also dealing with Champlain's utility as well at that time, while being at a utility disadvantage.
And you did hear I Am Anthony using his ult, but he's over on A, so we'll see how that goes for him.
Yeah, Chamber Op gonna come out. Gaddis getting the trade on Tweet Fruit Guy. NEC's Breach. Oh, Champlain's Breach. Sending out the ultimate, stunning. Everybody caught in it. Jopeth getting 1, close on sight. And the remaining players from NEC are in their spawn with 1 lurking around B main. That is the Chamber Op. Jopeth taking him down. dangerous fight to take, but it pays off. Noel catching Gaddis. Jabeth getting another one. Gets traded by One Shot Bow. Now it's another 2v1. We have Champlain smoke coming out, preventing One Shot from getting any information.
You see Void Demon and Ambo going to pinch the fade in a way, kind of forcing her to push out of one of the sides. And she just chose the wrong one. Ambo is there ready for her to peek out.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think who is on the Brimstone? I forget.
Brimstone, that's Void Demon.
That's Void. I think Void was purely playing for ult there and told Ambo to completely play for himself, because otherwise, if he wasn't playing for ult, I would not have recommended that play.
Oh yeah.
Because they were just there was no chance for trading, no chance for a trade, and could have been very dangerous. But because of the ult, he's just allowed to do that. So. Well played by Void Demon.
I think we're gonna see that a lot from him when he does have his ult up, especially on attack.
It's just to stay alive.
Just to stay alive and sit back with it if he's alive post-plant.
NEC opting to not really send anybody A due to the lack of presence, but Champlain seems to be reading that, although alert coming out from NEC's Brimstone, kind of giving them a little bit of intuition as to Champlain might be picking A. That would be something to watch. Jopeth getting one onto One Shot. I'm assuming the defenders spawn.
Yes,
Sweet Fruit guy picking up orb. Gets caught out by Noel.
You see the rest of the team is kind of stuck in their spawn a bit. Just kind of slowly peeking out, waiting to see if they can disrupt the plant.
Jopeth getting one with the paint shells. Ambo getting picked off by I Am Anthony. And Void Demon mollying the bomb to prevent the defuse, and is staying back to play with this ult as well. I'm not sure how I feel about this because of there's so much time still on the bomb, and the ult only lasts for a little bit of time. They get out of the ult in time, takes door, walks out right into Buki, manages to get the quick kill, avoids the jet ult for a little bit, but Stoner with more than enough time on the defuse.
And I think he knew coming from that, because he was in a 1v2 in the in NEC's advantage. He knew that someone was going to come for him, so I think he was just worried about even getting that ult off.
Yeah.
Because it's more important that you do get it off and push them off than to just kind of sit back and wait for the right time to then just kind of get attacked by the jet.
Yeah.
I definitely think that was an interesting ult from Stoner there. Usually you'll see a lot of people like use them because the jet knives, when you use them on your ult, they do refresh after each kill.
Yeah.
So usually you'll see them kind of like as
only
a string
on left click though.
Only on left click. But you'll usually see it as like a string of kills. And it's very multi-kill encouraging, and seeing it only for one kill is definitely really interesting, but
I think he just wanted to secure the round, and maybe also I am curious why he didn't decide to pull that out during like an eco round. I mean, that is a great way to equalize the economic advantage that the opposing team would have. Aftershock coming out as well from Champlain, pushing Stoner back a little bit. Or maybe not, no, it wasn't Stoner, it was One Shot. Jopeth peeking in to Sand. Seems to be a little bit unaware that there's somebody right below him.
See Buki getting a pick and main.
Ambo spotting one, spamming through the smoke but not able to catch anything, gets the reload off. Jopeth getting 1-2, gets traded by Buki. And Tweet Fruit Guy and Ambo stuck on opposite sides of the A site. Tweet Fruit Guy getting closed in on.
He's getting pinched from above. That's a really awful position to be in.
They expect this so much.
I don't know if they see him.
They have to. He goes back. He doesn't. He doesn't look down. Ambo planting on B site. Tweet Fruit Guy just waiting for the rotate. Probably called that the breach was coming arcade. And he catches him with the nice headhunter.
Beautiful, beautiful head tap with a headhunter there.
And now he has all of defenders spawn that now now Noel has to worry about. Noel clearly expecting him to be there as he heard the footsteps, but Tweet Fruit Guy was ready as well. Not able to get the frag. And now Ambo stuns coming out, stopping the defuse by a little bit and getting the pick onto Noel. A little bit immobilized, but a clean kill by Ambo nonetheless.
Yeah, so what that ability that Ambo just used kind of stuns the enemy a bit. Not like what you would think about with a traditional stun, but what it does is in a way, I think it uses the term concuss.
Yeah.
And that just makes it so that you can't like fire as fast as normal. So if you're like holding down the fire button, it'll like go a lot slower. You have to more tap it.
And you're a little less accurate, and it shakes your screen a little bit, so you're not able to really. You're still able to get like the one-shot headshot, but
it's
not
very
quite.
Disorienting.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to get kills there.
Well, we see Tweefruit guy playing out the chamber ult this round, hoping to get a pick on B main.
Tagged up a little bit.
But it looks like they're defaulting yet again, trying to get that information, getting that map control that's really important on Fracture.
And a default is just spreading out along the map, gaining as much map control as you can, and potentially trying to bait out enemy utility and figure out kind of what they are playing and what kind of setups they have, and really like try and decide where you're going to go off of that. I mean, Tweefruit guy getting one onto Noel on B side, Gaddis getting one as well onto B side. B side is completely clear as they rotate through the defender spawn. Jumpeth getting one in CT's defender spawn. CT coming from Counter-Strike, that's the defenders in that game. So you'll hear that quite often in Valorant as well, as there's a bit of quite a bit of overlap in the two games. Getting one, Champlain now in a 5-on-2 post-plant situation, and NEC opting to maybe go for this.
It looks like the one-shot bot, their fade is waiting for I Am Anthony. And that's really, really common in like these kinds of situations, is playing together, because even if one person dies, you're still able to trade out.
Ambo picking up one shot, and now it's just a Folino's flawless.
Folino's flawless
for Champlain.
Yeah.
5-3 in the way of Champlain on attacking side on Fracture. Curious how Champlain is going to decide their defending half.
Yeah.
I've seen this map go extremely one-sided on attack, if I'm going to be honest. I think this map and Breeze, because of the fact that they're so like long angles, they're not as claustrophobic as I feel like Ascent and Bind, where it's a lot of like closer range angles that really do favor the defenders. Those longer angles almost favor the attackers to some respect, and I'm really curious to see how NEC will deal with Champlain's defense and how Champlain will deal with NEC's attack, vice versa.
Yeah, and you see Stoner did a quick peek out there, B main, and then immediately dashed back to site.
Deciding to run a default again.
Tweefruit guy. I think they're a little afraid of him now.
A little bit. They seem to be a little scared, quaking in their boots just a bit.
I am curious about this Buki Void duo that might happen.
Just almost staring at each other right now. And I mean, the spike is left in the attacker's spawn, which would be the smart decision to do, as they haven't decided quite yet where they're going, but it seems like a bit of an A lean as Tweefruit guy leaves the B main area and starts rejoining with his comrades into the A main
Yeah,
position.
and you see the fade.
Anthony getting
one
a
shot,
pick.
One shot bot is
into
kind
A-main.
of hovering between the two sites, as you can see, waiting for them to fully commit to a site.
Buki might push through door.
And you see
KO coming out, and Anthony getting two. Gaddis getting one. Buki getting the last two, as well as the ult coming out from Noel. Shut down.
Shut down.
That's a stark difference from how the last round went. I mean, that really went like Champlain had all 5 players alive for that last round. Then the one that we just saw, NEC had 4 players alive. So this map actually could go very back and forth, and as we've been seeing, it really has. No one's really managed to pick up any momentum. No team seems to have really figured out the other one, or if they have, they're adapting so quickly that we can't even recognize it right now.
Yeah.
They're playing on a plane of existence highly above ours at the moment, but
Once
we'll
again,
see
you
where it
see.
decides to go.
Once again, we're seeing NEC kind of leaving A open, and Tweefruit guy getting that opening pick on the jet.
That would be, if Champlain decides to push A here, that might be the key that they need. Although they're showing a lot of B lean, and NEC a little hesitant to rotate Noel, or sorry, not Noel, because whatever their breach's name is, Buki off of A. Actually, they rotate one onto the A site as they get a pick on B and stop showing presence.
I think they've started noticing a pattern of like these defaults happening, and Champlain kind of leaning towards pushing A. Champlain noticing that that's the site they tend to be a little more like lenient on when it comes to defending. You see Anthony picking off Tweefruit guy as well. And this kind of puts a halt to a bit of the fast rotation, but they're still going. See, Ambo trading out Anthony for
And now it's
Void.
just Ambo left in a 1-on-3. Picks off the haunt, but does not manage to transfer it onto one shot, and that is NEC equalizing the score. Yeah, I think NEC, I think you were right. NEC is definitely reading Champlain's default and is giving less and less information each time. I mean, if you're recognizing that a team is running a default, that is exactly what you want to do, because the default is completely contingent on gaining that information, getting a pick or two, and then using those picks to either manipulate the enemy team's rotations or just going straight to that site as fast as you can, because they are at a player disadvantage. And also, I do have a question for you. Do you know if the attackers are in a if the score is a 4-player versus a 4-player situation, who has the advantage?
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Ambo picking up 1, and now we are in a 4-on-4 disadvantage advantage. Now 4-on-3. Jumpeth getting 1. Fatal coming out, deafening. I think that's 3 players from Champlain.
Also decaying them,
Jumpeth
so they have
getting
less
1
health.
health remaining. Somebody could breathe on him and he would die. And Ambo getting a long-range pick on the Stinger, gets traded out by One Shot, but One Shot picking up Jumpeth as well, not aware that they're in the site with him, and Tweefruit guy gets spammed through the smoke.
That's
And
just unlucky on Tweefruit guy. That's always your worst nightmare, is just getting headshot through his smoke with like that wild spray.
oh yeah, of course.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
And to answer my question, the 4-on-4 actually favors the attackers.
Really?
It favors the attackers because the attackers are always grouped up.
That's fair. That's
The
actually a pretty
defenders
good
are
point.
usually, they're having a split 2-2 or 1-3 or anything like that, or maybe having one in the middle, so then it's like a 1-2, 1-1-2, something like that. But generally, any kill favoring the attackers heavily swings the direction of the round. Defenders, not so much. Tweefruit guy picking off 1, and there we go. There's the advantage going the way of Champlain.
Yeah, you see Tweefruit guy getting a lot
But
of
the
first bloods.
equalization coming out from Anthony with that operator, such a powerful weapon in Valorant. Getting 2 onto Jumpeth as well. Gaddis picking up Stoner, and Breach and Brimstone all coming, completely immobilizing Anthony on site. Void Daemon picking up Anthony, and Void Daemon picking up the 3rd as well. Great round from him.
3K.
Those 2 ults in combination completely dismantled Anthony with that operator. I mean, Valorant, oh, this is a really close half, 6-6.
This is so close. I think the nice thing I'm really enjoying seeing is Tweefruit guy getting a lot of those first blood impact kills.
Yeah.
Which, you know, those are kind of the kills. Impact kills are the ones that matter the most in a game. Those are the ones that just like, you know,
if you pull
that's
off a
really what
1v3.
turns the tide. So usually in like when you're getting a first blood, that first kill of the round, getting that is such a high impact kill because you immediately put them at a disadvantage.
I
And
saw the
that's-
whole map. But,
Yeah, that breach ult can do some wild things to these physics. I mean, you just kind of get knocked all the way up in the air.
good halves coming out from the players. Now Champlain on the defender's side. And that combination of ults. The operator in Valorant is such a very strong gun because the movement speed of the players tend to be pretty slow. And so holding that corner, Buki picking up Gaddis, and Void Daemon trading him out. And then Buki trading out Void Daemon as well. Trades coming out. NEC, the 4-on-3 advantage.
You see Ambo
Jumpeth
coming
in from behind, and I'm not sure they're aware. They do get some information on Ambo that might draw their attention away enough for Jumpeth to get 1. It does. Sends the Boombot out towards Dice/Arcade. Tweetfruit gets 1. Paint shells up in the tower to force off Stoner. And the defuse starts.
You see
Ambo
running to intercept,
getting a bit of a
but
tag. But the defuse will not be stopped, and Champlain gets their 7th round on the board. Kills coming out for Jumpeth.
Ooh,
That's
okay.
gotta feel good on the
those
ego.
post-defuse kills always feel really good.
And that's got to hurt on the way of NEC.
Yeah, that really helps their econ a bit. But yeah, I feel like if we had full util for Ambo there, I don't think he had his aftershock that round, but I was expecting to see the aftershock to disrupt that plant.
Yeah, that would have been the way to do it, but I think he opted to buy a pistol instead. A little bit of an upgrade to the gun.
Yeah.
But now Champlain with the gun advantage going into the second round of the half. Void Daemon jump spotting quickly. And Fruit Guy getting 1 burst, 2 burst.
Getting that first blood and
Sees
those
the third,
impact
flash
kills.
coming out, completely blind. Jumpeth coming in quick with the blast packs, getting a bit of a tag off, trying to disrupt enemy movement. Fruit Guy gets unbelievably fragged by Anthony with a quick peek, and Jumpeth forced to rotate back.
And they definitely
NEC
know that all 3 of them are there now. They saw the Jet in the chamber and then the Fade throw her util.
Jumpeth opting to get one and get out.
And you see Gaddis and Void coming in and trying to pinch off the attackers from behind.
And
try and
NEC is
secure
just
that win.
not aware of that. They might be now as the footsteps come in, but Ambo managed to get the wall bang onto Stoner as he falls behind cover. And that is a great second round for Champlain, as they will be going into the next with a wonderful bonus opportunity. If they win this round, NEC will be in some hot water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is the round that statistically NEC should win. They have better guns, they have full rifles, while most of Champlain has SMGs. I think there is a Bulldog, which is a rifle, just not as good as the other rifles in the
Bulldog
game.
can be pretty strong, though.
It can be very strong.
That gun can put in work.
They're doing their dish pinch, which is a really fun play that they love to run, where they just kind of, when they're at a gun disadvantage, they love to run in and kind of just spray them down,
Void Daemon
kind
and
of
Gaddis
scare
getting
them.
2 in a 3-on-3. This is awesome because now they get to pick up the guns that were dropped. Now they're not so far off of the gun disadvantage. Void Daemon getting up, getting a Vandal, swings tower, sees Stoner. Trade coming out. Fruit Guy also with a Vandal. This is very doable for Champlain now. Fruit Guy already with his ultimate online. Could 100% op, but does not. And now both of Champlain's members are up in tower. They will have to find the rest of NEC.
This is a really hard point to push. Oh, that's a beautiful
They get
kill
the bonus.
to interrupt that chamber TP. That's always the most satisfying thing to get when you're playing against a chamber. Worst feeling in the world when you're playing as the chamber.
You're like, dude, I TP'd. What is this?
Yeah, no, that has been me on more than one occasion where I've played chamber and I get picked in the middle of TPing and I'm just like, this is insane, because you don't really see it coming.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing chamber and TPing, there's like an effect that goes over your screen. I think it does cover the top of the screen first and then goes down. So
Yeah.
the top of your screen, you're where you're TPing to, but at the bottom, you're still where your body is. So you can interrupt TPs by killing them like that.
Yeah, that's just, that's not the way that NEC wanted this to go, and now they are at a serious gun disadvantage, I would assume. I'm not sure quite what their guns are looking like right now, but they do seem to have some sort of SMGs. They have rifles. Okay.
It
Not
looks
sure how
like
this
they are
happened.
doing an A pinch here.
Jumpeth getting 1 in a cheeky corner. I love what he's doing with his teammate. And Jumpeth trying to blast pack into Stoner, but does not get that. I'm not sure how NEC bought rifles, and Buki quick kill into Void Daemon. And Noel finalizing the round for NEC. I'm not 100% sure how they had rifles that round, I'm not gonna lie.
Probably just like hard saving earlier in the game.
More than likely, but Champlain, no stranger to the cash, has the funds to reinvest.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that really stuck out to me there is the chamber carrying the spike. Usually, in most games, you'll see the spike being carried by the controller, because
So,
they're
like
kind of
Brimstone?
yeah. So Brimstone in this example on both teams would usually be the one carrying the spike. I know on Champlain, usually Breach will carry it on this map. But it's really interesting because the whole point of chamber is kind of being able to watch for flanks, so you're not necessarily on site.
And just having that mobility and also getting the spike. I mean, if you have the spike as chamber and you're forced to teleport off of the angle, that's putting you at an extreme disadvantage. I mean, you're now off the site, and you had the opportunity to bomb plant, but now you're taken completely off of that. And having NEC with the chamber on the spike is just not what you would like to be seeing if you were them. Although that round did go their way.
Yeah.
Jumpeth dodging the aftershock or the concuss.
You also saw earlier that chamber trip caught the brim in that drop position. Japeth getting a double kill there.
Razult coming out and picking up one shot. Not much one shot can do about that. I mean, an RPG bullet is, or an RPG shell is pretty difficult to dodge. And Gaddis kind of holding up the line on B site. Chamber ult shot coming through from Dish. That will alert everybody.
The Jets coming through to main, which
30 seconds left.
definitely towards spike.
Ambo's ready for it though.
Really hard to push that one-on-one.
Oof, quick one tap from Stoner. Picks up Tweet Fruit guy as well, and Jumpeth. Now it's just Gaddis. 10 seconds on the clock. Wildly sprays and Stoner with the ace to clutch up the round.
Yeah, so kind of something that you saw Champlain do, which was a bit of a mistake, is they kind of gave, in a 4v1 situation, they kind of gave the ability for Stoner to get 1v1s there.
Yeah.
Which is something you never want to do, because if you lose the gunfight, you don't have anyone available to trade you out.
Something very fundamental to attack FPS shooters or attack games, attack FPS games in general, is that trading.
Yes.
And just being able to space yourselves out properly. I mean, having Stoner take a one-on-one isn't necessarily a bad thing if you swing directly after the kill while he's still inaccurate and is not able to readjust. And Champlain did not quite execute that properly. And Stoner, off of the high of his ace, manages to pick off Jumpeth. And Gaddis with a stinger. Not much he can do against Noel. Boyd Dame with a Bucky gets one. Does not manage to pick off Anthony, but Ambo with the Spectre manages to finish off what was started. Gets two with the Spectre. I mean, the Spectre is a really strong submachine gun for the price.
Oh yeah, the Spectre is really strong. I love running the Spectre so much. I call myself the Spectre Demon. But you see him get caught out by that jet, and Tweetford guy gets killed by Fade.
And Stoner obviously walking through the A site to pinch Ambo in the defender spawn. It's just not aware, and this will be a timeout coming out from Champlain. What do you think they're talking about?
Probably going to be talking about, based off of timeouts that I've heard them have before, they're probably going to get a bit of talk about how they can be playing better, probably closer together as a team. That was definitely not the best save round for them, but it was a save round. They were able to get some picks, but unfortunately not enough to really feel impactful.
Yeah, and I mean, that 1v4 that Stoner was able to pull off, I mean, they're probably talking about that right now and talking about how they can really play off each other. I mean, I've been seeing a little bit from the play. It's just they're not playing as much as a team together on the defender side. It does seem to be a lot of like one-on-ones, and I mean, they are winning a decent amount of their gunfights, but they could be playing with their utility and with their team so much better. And just like having like I saw earlier in the game, Jumpeth in the corner of A main with I think it was Ambo maybe, kind of like baiting out shots, and then Jumpeth like completely NEC, I forget who it was, walked into him just unaware completely that he could even be there. They need to start making plays like that a little bit more. I mean, having that teamwork and just playing off of each other a lot more is going to net them more rounds. I mean, the teamwork is sort of there, but it's not quite to the level that it probably should be if they want to finalize this game. I mean, Stoner is somebody that they really need to look out for. They need to be really careful of that jet and really just trying to get damage down and getting out alive. As if Stoner picks up a little bit too many kills, it will go to his head and he'll start playing really confident. I mean, you see him rushing into tower already, getting the kill into Gaddis, and
hard executing on B. Doing a really interesting play. They were not. They did a really interesting play there where they sent 4 of their players up through main and had I Am Anthony on chamber flanking from underneath to the other side.
Sees the gun barrel of Anthony and manages to pick him off, and now Champlain in a 3-on-2. Stoner out of the equation, but Noel with some damage down. Both of NEC's players are at that B main angle. Jumpeth whiffing a little bit. Molly coming out in one-shot bow, picking up Tweetfruit Guy as he is low. And this will be 10-9 to NEC. NEC Red, specifically. Not what you wanted to see from Champlain. I mean, a pretty good, pretty decent retake considering the circumstances. I mean, completely smoked out of sight. Nothing they can really do, and they still manage to pick up 3 and make the round winnable, but are not able to finalize those kills like they really needed to be able to. And this map, this map's looking like they need to do or die. They need to change something up a little bit, change some player compositions, who's playing together, and NEC looking to poised to do a quick B take again.
It looks like they're doing the same exact play. The chamber going under, the rest of them running towards main. Although you do see Brim running towards A, probably to see if he can bait out that chamber off, because that chamber off is such a powerful ultimate. You want to know where it is. You get the confirmation that the breach is main, and Void gets
Tweetfruit Guy
taken
getting
out.
a pick with the chamber op. Jump is going down to Buki. Buki getting one more as well earlier in the round. Using his aftershock. Gaddis with a nice flick onto one shot. Unaware that there's somebody behind him. Goes down, but is still not out yet. They do decide to finish him. A little bit toxic, but alright. And the concuss from Ambo. Primed and ready. Tweetfruit Guy knows that the spike went down and is waiting for the cross. Picks off Stoner. Easiest shot of his life. And now it is a 2-on-1 to the way of Champlain, and they should know where the final player is.
They know where Spike is, so
Now,
it's just seeing if they'll be antsy and move, or if they'll stay still and
30
wait for him to
seconds
peek
left.
them, which it looks like he
is
will.
what it really needs to come down to, and Tweetfruit Guy getting 3 with it, equalizing the scoreboard again, really using that chamber ult to its full potential, and I'm glad, like you were saying, whether they were going to get antsy or patient, I was halfway expecting them to get a little antsy.
Yeah.
Patience is exactly what they need right now, and patience is what got them that round. I mean, playing patient on the defender's side, trying to not give away any mistakes to the attacking side. I mean, playing aggressive at times is what you want to be doing to take space aggressively, but you need to be doing it with another player.
Yeah.
And being able to know when to swap between playing patient and playing aggressive wins you games tenfold, and that will be the Jet ult coming out.
Really
the side of
interesting
NEC.
play. You have Jet coming
Solo
up B
sending them
main.
into B, maybe trying to...
You Void there already.
What is
but
going on? I really don't know.
The
TP
Jet
coming out for
smokes
Tweetfruit to
and
get back.
flashes and dashes out, and is now heading to go with the rest of her team to A main.
I'm so lost.
Or
They're going
she's
towards
going
B again.
across the
They're going
ropes.
back to B.
You see Gaddis getting a nice pick on the Brim.
Noelle going down. Not
Stopping
able to
that,
pick up the kill,
kinda
but
causing that Jet to hesitate a bit. She was
Yeah.
ready to follow up with the Brim, but now she knows that he's there.
he should not repeat this.
You should not repeak this.
30 health. All he needs is one knife to the body.
Because
Smoke
he
coming
sends out
out.
his knife. He knows
Stayed
she's
down.
there.
Preventing Stoner from walking up the rope, but Gaddis will have to
And Gaddis is
face
ready
his
for her.
fear. Quite literally, that was not planned.
And he gets a nice pick on her too.
Jopeth getting Anthony with the paint shells, and now it's a 4-on-1. NEC one shot in B main. Gets picked off by Tweetfruit Guy with a nice shot from long range, and this has Champlain almost to match point.
Yeah. Yeah, you really see Tweetfruit Guy has really started getting a lot of really important kills. He's definitely like been picking up speed as this game has been going on. And the round before this, I was gonna say something about how with antsiness and that kind of situation in a 1v2, especially on defense, you want to kind of sit still on that site because it's more important to play together than to have one person waiting there and the other person waiting on the other site
Of
for
course.
the last person to be alive. Because of course that's once again giving them those 1v1s that can really ruin the game.
Here we have NEC leaning again more towards an A hit, but still have Anthony with his operator sitting at B main waiting for the defenders to make a mistake, and Tweetfruit Guy almost making a mistake himself, but quickly readjusting, and that's Stoner out of the equation. I mean, that's a big kill for the way of Champlain. Now they're in a 5-on-4 situation with Stoner out of the
Anthony.
picture.
Anthony's going across ropes to try and see if he can catch someone else off of rotation. Or even try and push Tweefer guy. Because
Definitely
now he knows he's there.
seems to be ready. Does not hold, but here's the footsteps. Gets the kill on Anthony. That's the chamber up out of the picture. I mean, Champlain on a 5-on-3. Spike down, defending the site. They're able to get in. Noel picking up Ambo and Jumpeth. But Tweefruit guy still in the equation. Ult coming out. And Tweefruit guy getting traded. And Void Damon picking up the last kill. Gaddis as well there for an insurance policy.
That's exactly what I expect from a Brimble on defense.
Yeah.
Is just sending it down as they're planting, and especially in that plant spot, probably the best plant spot on that site. However, it does put you very, very susceptible to that ult.
Because it's such a big area as well.
Yeah, and you can like kind of change it so that it covers like so that like that little corner is just touching the edge and the rest of it is touching where you would run out to.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. And
It's
now
very
Champlain
brutal.
is on match point for their map pick. And seems to be a little bit closer to a B hit. And Stoner using both of his updrafts does not spot anything.
Looks like one shot bot is
guy
going underneath.
Might catch the lurk here if he's not. He might get caught by the lurk here if he's not careful. Manages to reposition, but does get caught by Anthony. Does this cause NEC to rotate towards A? No. One shot bow getting a pick to tower, and Anthony staying towards A door, but decides to rotate off and go with his team towards B. There will be a lot of people onto Void Damon in a couple seconds. Prowler does not spot him. He's still kind of on the site unknown, but Noel, he peeks a little too far out, assuming B main is clear when it was not. And now it is Ambo and Jumpeth in a 2v5 retake situation to keep them from being on the brink of overtime.
And this is where using that util is so important. This is something I know the team has struggled with in the past, is making sure that they use their util, especially for retakes like that, when it comes to just getting onto site, getting those kills, and then defusing the spike, or even getting onto site to plant the spike. Usually it's like, you need to make sure that you use those flashes as breaches that concuss, with KO using that knife to make sure that the enemy team can't really fight back you, unless they just have to out-aim you. It's just, you have to make sure that you use all of that, and that's what really is going to win them those rounds, is using that util properly.
And like you're saying with util, there's not a whole lot of ultimates at the ready for either team. I mean, this match, this map point is going to come down to the gunfights and the regular utility usage. I mean, a Brimstone ult on the side of NEC and a Breach and a Raze ult on the side of Champlain can come very in handy. A little bit of tag coming out. Tweefruit guy with another chip on his shoulder. Manages to get out safely, gets picked off by Buki. Quick kill.
Once again, we see I'm Anthony carrying the spike as chamber, which is a very dangerous play. It looks like they're consolidating at A and getting ready to plant.
Champlain needs to really play together this for this retake. Use the utility to cut off angles and really suppress. Ult coming out from Ambo in a couple seconds. Gaddis gonna get picked off by the Lurk Watch.
But
Stoner's gonna be behind them.
Him. I don't think they know he's
Opts
there.
to not reveal his position, and this could be what NEC needs to bring this map to overtime. He's so secure in this pick. Gets one. Stoner picking off one. Gets two. 2-on-5. 1-on-5. Ambo left. And this map goes to overtime.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate timing, and you could see that Brimble was waiting for that post plant to try and kill anyone who was trying to defuse the spike, but we're gonna see some really nice overtime plays here. Overtime rules in Valorant, you pretty much just one time, like each set of overtime is 2 rounds. Each team gets a chance on attack and defense. Same order as they have been going the whole game, so Champlain will start on attack for the first round of overtime, and then they'll be on defense for the second round of overtime. They get a total of, I think it's 5,000 credits.
Yeah, I think it's 5,000.
So it's enough to pretty much buy full rifle, full armor, and I think all of your util. And so pretty much everyone's kind of at this even kind of...
And the ultimate points are right at half.
Yes, the ultimate points are halved, so...
Rounded up half.
Yeah,
if it's an
rounded
odd
up
number.
half. So as you see, for Void right now, he has 4 ultimate points out of 7.
Jumpeth Manages to pick off one-shot bow. A little bit close because the flash was just ending. Good flash coming out from Ambo. Void Damon picking up Anthony as well. And this is Champlain in a 5-on-3. Very in the advantage right now. Void Damon. Gaddis actually picking up Noel. Stoner about to take his first fight, and Void Damon rips his head off. Buki in a 1v4. This would be the ace if he takes this. They know where he is. They know he's in the defender spawn, and Void Damon jump spotting. Manages to catch out a couple bullets. Does not eat any of them though. And Buki playing extremely slow, moving more towards the ropes position. And Void Damon with a big 3 kills to bring Champlain onto map point.
And a really nice play that we saw there from Void and I believe Gaddis, where they used the new features of Fracture.
Oh man, I love that area.
For those who don't really play Valorant that much, Fracture was recently just updated as a map. It's mostly changes around A sites, so you see that little lip that Void was standing on for a while. That's brand new.
And
There's
dish.
the whole drop areas is new, just kind of taking out a lot of guesswork in that game, in that site. But you saw that Void and Gaddis were playing like
almost catching Noel.
Yeah.
Ambo picking him off, and Dish only has 1 entrance versus 2 now.
Yeah.
Very helpful and simplifying the game. Anthony managing to pick off Gaddis. Tweetfruit guy getting a couple shots off, not particularly landing a bit of damage on the Stoner maybe, but does not get any damage taken. Stoner down, 3-on-3. Bomb going down on the A site. Ambo in the dish position. Could be a win condition for Champlain right now. Gets the pick onto one-shot bow, and now he has his ultimate. Ults the A site.
1 enemy remaining.
Aftershock coming out from Buki. Trades out.
Player standing.
Trades coming out. Tweetfruit guy left in a 1v1. Should just take it to half. The
he's
smoke is
protected by
down.
the smokes, but
Does not manage to get the kill into Anthony, and we will go into a second OT.
yeah.
Switching sides.
That was
Overtime.
really interesting to watch, and you saw poor Void as he got killed by the breach aftershock while stunned by, I think, his teammate's ult.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate because there's a lot of ults in the game that do affect both the enemy team and the player's team. So Breach ult is one of them. Brim ult does it, but it's like less damage for your teammates. Raze ult, I think, does damage teammates. I know you can kill yourself with Raze ult, but
Yeah, I think it does damage teammates a little bit. It's like the paint shells. I think it's the same. It's just reduction. Tweetfruit guy. Champlain leaning more towards an A hit. Stoner. Early rotation coming out because he has Noel on the flank. Stoner trading out the kills. Jumpeth getting 2-3.
will we see an ace from
Single-handedly
Japeth here?
taking the map into his own hands. Tweetfruit guy getting 1, and Void Damon getting the last. Jumpeth. Team killing
so you
Tweetfruit.
can kill your teammates
there it
with
is.
Raze ult. There we go. That
And,
solves my question.
And Jumpeth really getting onto site and giving Champlain the A site on a silver platter. I mean, really, as a butler, just handed it to them right there.
He does.
And then Void Damon and Tweetfruit really just keeping it.
He does an amazing job of playing Duelist. Like, the main job of playing Duelist is kind of clearing that site and preparing for your team. Yeah, creating space for your team to entry.
And I think one of the best things that I like about how Valorant's Duelists work as entry fraggers is the way that they can use their utility to pull the crosshairs of the defenders away from the entrances as their team follows up. I mean, the raised blast pack Tweetfruit guy with a quick kill and the jet dash both bring the crosshairs of the enemy team away from the rest of the team. Tweetfruit guy with a quick 2K.
Yeah, and it looks like Champlain did change up their
3K on the
defense
Stoner.
default.
He is feeling crispy right now.
Oh, will he see?
Gaddis might have a
Anthony?
flash coming in.
No.
Ambo gets 1. Tweetfruit guy drops. Jumpeth. They know where Anthony is.
Looks like Void is trying to intercept him, but
The ropes
Anthony
have been
goes
taken.
across the ropes, and I think
And now
they
Champlain
might
is
hear
lost.
him. He didn't slow himself on the ropes. You can tell by the speed.
Yeah.
I don't know if Gaddis heard him. He would have been in prime position to
They
hear
don't seem
that.
to have, they
but
don't seem to have known
they
because
seem
they're
to
all
be
looking at
ready.
A main Ambo in prime position to get shot in the
and
back of the
Japeth,
head.
the person who's
rotating
best to
off.
see that, moving away from his position.
Ambo leaving. The site is free right now for Anthony, but I don't think he knows that.
30 seconds
Japeth
left.
just kind of toying around right now, having a little bit
Ooh,
of fun.
He might be getting Japeth and Gaddis from behind with this one if he looks.
Oh,
Japeth
they're
just
aware.
turns at the perfect
And
moment to
Gaddis
see it, and Gaddis trades
finalizes
him
the
out.
game. 15-13.
15-13. Winning in second OT is honestly one of the shorter games they've played so far this season.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
All
they've
right.
had a number of games go
How
to
many
OT.
overtimes?
Oh, there
What was
was
the
one
longest
game.
OT?
I think they had a game go to like 4 or 5 overtime.
Jeez, man.
Like
It's like
rounds,
2020,
so-
right?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
a rough game. They did end up, I think, losing that one, but
That's unfortunate. Good to go such a burner, but we have Champlain taking
Look
their
at
map.
that scoreboard.
Not quite decisively, but it was definitely a close game. And
Yeah.
we'll be back with Ascent and Champlain starting on the defending side. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And we are back. That was a burner of a game on Fracture, but here we have Ascent, and this will be NEC's pick. And this map, as we were talking about earlier at the start of the stream, was very much mid-heavy. So with Champlain on the defender's side starting out, we will see if they really do take that mid control from NEC and abuse it to win out the half.
Yeah, and they usually do a really good job of taking that mid control and finding ways to get around some of the little like nitty-gritty areas of the map. I know this is like one of their better ones. Really excited to see what they do here, and I think they are starting on defense this map. So seeing some really neat defensive plays from. I'm really excited to see what Tweefert guy does on Chamber. I think he's gonna have some really good impact frags, first bloods, all that great stuff. And then seeing how they kind of can stop the heavy pushes, because based off of last map, it seems like NEC really loves those hard executes.
Yeah, they're really in love with those fast, brutal, explosive executes out on the side, and I think that Champlain quite isn't equipped to handle those a lot of the time, unless they do seem to like stack the site or lean a little bit more towards that way.
Yeah.
And NEC does seem to be using their util pretty well, but I think Champlain, depending on you said that this is one of their stronger maps, so
This
we
is
could
definitely
see an upset. This isn't their map pick, so in theory, we should be going to a map 3. But
I'm really curious, especially with how Stoner was able to kind of pull off some really nice lurks and flanks on Fracture. I'm really excited to see what he does on this map.
I'm excited to see if Japeth manages to pull those off as well, just to counter that. I mean,
I don't
I
think you're
didn't
going
really
to see it from him that much.
I didn't really see a whole lot of. I saw some lurks coming out from Tweefruit, but I didn't see just the quality of lurk from Stoner was unbelievable. I mean, there were so many times where he just got behind Champlain on the retake. And I didn't really see Champlain try a whole lot of those lurks, and I think that might be something that they should look into.
Yeah, it's definitely really interesting that they had their duelist going on lurks and flanks when they have a Chamber on their team, because usually as a Sentinel, Chamber is usually the one that's in charge of doing that or kind of watching out for those things. So especially on Fracture, it's kind of hard to do so because there's so many ways that you can get pushed from. But I think seeing how Champlain does something similar, but they'll usually do it with their Chamber player to do the lurks and the flanks and watching all that stuff. So hopefully we can see how those work in Champlain's favor this map.
All right, and now we're getting into the map Ascent. This map is a little bit smaller, a little bit claustrophobic in my opinion, but we'll see. It's a very interesting team comp coming out. I mean, we already have the KO coming out from the side of Champlain, and that is a pretty good pick. Void Damon.
I think the thing that really has me interested is that Phoenix pick on Buki.
And maybe on Japeth. Nope,
No.
Ray is being picked. But that Phoenix is a interesting character. I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
He's been a little bit more competitively viable, but that ultimate only costing 6 points is so valuable.
Yeah, it's one of the cheaper ults in the game, but The thing about Phoenix that I know a lot of people do have critiques on is that he's a bit selfish, where
Yeah.
a lot of his utility just solely benefits him.
He would be good on lurks.
Yeah, he's really good at lurks, so I'm
Especially with that
surprised why
ultimate.
Stoner isn't playing him, because
Yeah.
Stoner seemed to be the one that was on
Stoner-
top of those lurks.
Stoner might be picking the KO, which, considering the fact that they have a duelist, is a curious way to play the game. I mean, Anthony back on that chamber, and Noel back on that brimstone, but one shot might be back on that fade.
Yeah.
And we're seeing pretty similar team comps coming out, especially from even last map. I mean, there's a lot of overlap coming in. I think that they're pretty just comfortable on these agents. And I mean,
Select your agent.
Champlain with Fade, Chamber, Raze, Omen, KO going top to bottom, and NEC. I'm going to assume it's going to be a KO, Phoenix, Brimstone, Fade, and Chamber going top to bottom. And that will be interesting, because I haven't really seen those types of picks coming out just whenever I play the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't played in like a couple months because I've been focusing on other games, but when I did play, I would not have seen this comp.
Yeah, this has been the comp that Champlain has been running with this season, and it's worked really well for them. The big key thing I think here is, aside from the Void Demon Omen, is that we have Ambo on Fade. For those who have not been following Valorant for that long, Fade is still a relatively new agent. I think she's the second most recent one.
Harbor.
Yeah, Harbor is the most recent. Still not able to be played in NECC, but Fade was the
okay.
one released before him. So she's still new, kind of switched up a lot of the meta. She came out as kind of a challenge to what Sova had. He was really dominant as an initiator, solely because of the information he could get. And she does pretty similar information gathering. So a lot of the maps that Sova used to be dominant on are now Fade dominant. So
Yeah.
Ascent is a perfect example. This typical like lineup for Fade and Sova on B site is like a key Ascent thing. That wall, if you remember what wall bangable means from earlier, that wall that Fade was standing next to, Ambo, is wall bangable.
Tweetfruit guy with a quick kill and a one shot. He's warmed up from the last game, getting 2 Stoner as well, dropping. And now we're left on a 5-on-3. And Tweetfruit guy opts the TP back into market.
Yeah.
It's market because it has like a bunch of fruits in there as well. It's like a couple of bags of stuff. Tweetfruit does fall to Buki, but does get a little bit of
You
damage.
see
Maybe,
that
maybe
mid
not.
control, like there's a lot of mid play there.
Ambo lurked up deep into mid, and Buki opts to
He
not
heard
push it.
Buki running around,
He
so
does
he knows
hear.
he's there.
They do know that they seemingly a bit closer to A. Void Damon coming out with a odd Omen
Supposed to be a
smoke.
one-way, I think, but unfortunately he
Messed
slightly
that up.
missed.
Dinked. Anthony left with a sliver of health. So is Void Damon. Ambo picking up the trade. Manages to finalize that kill, and now it's a 3-on-2,
It
and
looks like
NEC.
Buki and Noel seem to be rotating out. Japeth catching out Noel on catwalk. The frenzy
The
plays.
frenzy going utterly brazy right now.
30 seconds
As
left.
Ambo spots the last one top of mid, and Japeth
Getting a
helping him
beautiful
out, but
headshot.
Ambo gets a little bit of a headshot there.
Yeah.
A little bit from a decent distance. That's gotta feel good.
You're
coming
gonna
off the
see him
last game.
buying up here, getting those full shields, those specters. And you see Ambo with the Ares. Now, as I was explaining earlier, that wall that Ambo likes
Oh,
to sit next
yeah,
to
that
is
one.
wall bangable.
The one with the
So
little, like, what
this
is that on the wall? There's like a drawing. I forget what it's
The
what
lobster.
it does. What is it? It's a
Feeling
lobster?
Well, that's the joke, is someone
Oh.
thought it was a lobster, so they made it a spray. But
Fair
what you
enough.
see here is he's gonna throw his eye in, he's gonna get vision on them
There.
and be main, and then just spray the machine gun through the wall. And because of the high penetration, this has always been an easy way for players to get kills on defense.
Ooh, a quick
kicking
kill onto
out
Anthony.
mid.
Another one on Ibuki with the Bulldog. That Bulldog burst. Ambo pushing up into tiles, confirming that nobody else is there.
He did walk
Does walk right
past.
by. Walks right by one shot. One shot might have the flank onto 2 of them.
No, that's Noel.
Noel.
Yeah.
Noel's kind of just sitting in the corner.
Doesn't see
Ambo
him.
does not know and
Noel.
gets caught Tweetfruit, Jumpeth getting one. Tweetfruit getting his third. It's 180s, one shot. Cleans him up, but
Beautiful
Gaddis.
trade by Gaddis. Now, Noelle that was a really great example of practicing what we call trigger discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Which is where you see an enemy, but you wait to shoot just to see if maybe you'll like get more coming towards you. So Noelle could have shot Ambo when they first saw Ambo walking out.
It
but
wouldn't have been
instead
confirmed.
They would have, but instead they waited to see if anyone else would follow out after him. It was a really good play on their part.
Also, I think if you had just seen Ambo, that shot is infinitely harder than sitting in a corner where he's right next to it. And Ambo going for that B wallbang play again. Does not manage to spot anybody and rotates off. Tweetfruit guy getting another kill mid. Void Damon picking up one out of A main as well. Paranoia coming into blind. Not sure if he catches anybody, but gets a nice shot on a one-shot bow. Gaddis right there with him. Stoner picks up Ambo on the flank. And now he's left in a 1-on-4. He's done this before, though. Pop flash coming out. Blinds Jumpeth. Pushes Stoner back. And Jumpeth with a quick trade on the Stoner, winning out the bonus round. And that is exactly the way Champlain wanted that round to go.
Yeah.
With the gun disadvantage, they get to pick up some free good guns. Ambo with an Odin. Very expensive, but potentially beneficial choice considering the leaning of NEC. Although they might not quite push into this quite as quickly.
And that Odin is perfect for this play that he does, because the Odin has 100 rounds in each magazine, so you can just spray down people in B main with this play. We might see it here.
Gets a little bit of damage off, but does not manage to finalize any kills. He'd sprayed for a little longer. He might have been able to pick up one. And now NEC are in the B main area, and I think that's Stoner on the map. Opting to go all the way back into the
one-shot spot with the spike rotating towards Anthony with over on A main. Since they know that Champlain knows that NEC is kind of towards B, so kind of allowing themselves to
Void playing that anchor on A site like you were talking about, and just kind of I think he might be calling for a bit of a rotate as well. Gaddis gonna be able to catch none with the suppress. Void Damon sees one. GP's a bit out into the open, gets a quick kill into Anthony. Pretty fortunate for him to get that. Just manages to dodge the wall bang.
See Tweetfruit guy helping to pinch that KO in.
And that lurk will come in very handy. Stoner not ready, and Champlain pick up their 4th round in a row.
Getting a beautiful 4K there.
That was pretty textbook from Champlain. I mean, they really did halt the push on B, forcing them to rotate off onto A, and then Void stayed alive long enough for Champlain to send in the cavalry and help him out.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the chamber here from Tweetfruit guy.
For sure. And
getting that.
Ambo gonna go with the Odin play again. When will they catch on?
Ooh. Oh, and they really seem to be pushing towards B main, so maybe he will get one of them.
This might could be a B split. Ambo opting to throw the haunt a little late.
Definitely ready this
time. Gets caught, spams, gets Noelle. Does not manage to get anybody else. Doesn't
aiming a bit too far to the right.
Could have gotten so much potential there, but the one frag is enough.
He did seem to damage both the Fade and Phoenix.
Oh yeah, a little bit of damage coming out.
Himself with one of his abilities.
And the ult comes out. Buki getting one with his ult. Counter haunt coming out. They take the mid control completely. Champlain stuck, leaning towards A, and Jumpeth.
Gaddis is stuck in this cubby. Jumpeth leaving him.
To rotate through the
and now they know he's there, so they're ready for him to come out.
Nothing he can do to leave the corner. Knife destroyed. No suppression.
But you do see Void smoking him.
They are all mid right now.
But Gaddis is just stuck there, and now he's able to get out. Yeah, that smoke from Void is definitely an example of good communication. You can tell that Gaddis was telling him, like, hey, I'm stuck, can you help me get out? And that smoke was put there as a result.
100%. And I think Champlain, what is NEC doing? They are so spread out right now. Jumpeth in the right spot, but does not manage to land the shot. Stoner on the lurk again. doesn't manage to, was not ready for Void, but I think he hit a wrong keybind and pulled up an ability, not what he wanted to.
Yeah, that was
unfortunate.
He was pulling up his smoke, but
I don't think he wanted to. I think he got spooked
definitely
a little.
did not. Yeah.
Although that Stoner did just get a kill, so we'll see. We'll ask him about that later.
Yeah, it's also possible that, you know, he thought
Fumbled.
he killed him
Yeah.
and then hit the button, because that's something you see a lot too, is people will be like, oh, I got the kill, and then go to like use an ability, but unfortunately they did not get that kill.
Unfortunate. Champlain's still up 4-1 on the defender's half. This game could very well go their way. Ambo gonna get nobody. A little bit of damage off on the Stoner. Just a tad. Tweefruit guy with his ultimate in mid. KO knife coming out, disabling that ultimate.
And they know
And
he's
they cleared
there.
the entirety of B main. Tweefruit guy with his pistol gets a lot of damage down to Stoner, but they have immobilized the chamber ult.
There.
Oh, Ambo with 2 quick
Spike
kills
down
with the
mid.
Odin. A nice transfer from him. Boombot coming out.
Enemy remaining.
Zupeth getting 1 shot. Blast packing out in the
Gaddis
mid.
about to get flanked from behind by Noel.
NEC is so
Going to
good
get
with
knifed
this
here, I
lurk.
bet. Oh no.
He was looking for another one, but because Gaddis turned around, he decided to pull the
I
trigger.
was so sure. That's like such a common thing, is like a flanker will sneak up behind a team and just start knifing
Yeah.
them. Absolutely dirty play,
The,
but I was hoping that would happen, because it's always funny when it happens, but he did want to be prepared for that attempt to trade out
Yeah.
Gaddis.
And I'm pretty confident in Valorant, if you get a knife kill, does it give you any monetary gain, or is it just the same as a regular kill?
I think it's just the same as a regular kill.
Because I know in Counter-Strike they do have a bit of incentive. They give you $1,500 for a knife kill, which utterly can change the game
That's
in terms
a
of
huge
economy.
economic benefit if you can get that off.
But this is Valorant, and Void Damon teleports on top of bricks. Gets caught by the Haunt, so they know where he is. He might opt to teleport somewhere else. Smokes off the A main presence and crosses back to the other side.
Noel is getting ready to lurk over towards B, but
Jumpeth is ready.
Chapeth and Ambo were ready to catch him out.
Blast packs out, catches Noel, and now they have the attackers spawn on block. Void Damon getting 1, getting 2. Buki taking out Gaddis, but Void Damon still on the other side of the door. Shoots out the door and sprays down one-shot bow, Tweefruit, and Void Damon
That was
shutting down
absolutely
this push.
beautiful from both of them.
This map scenes were convincing than Fracture.
Oh yeah.
And this was this was not Champlain's pick. And we're
Yeah.
seeing it go right their way.
Yeah, and that play from Void was really good, knowing, like, hearing that KO res sound. So when KO's in his ult and dies, he doesn't really die. He gets like 1,000 HP, something around
800,
that.
something like that,
and
yeah.
it decays over time. You can shoot it to make it go down faster, but his team can come up and resurrect him. And so Void heard that sound and
You want to
immediately
play?
started
Let's
spraying
play.
through that door to get it to break.
Sprays
That's
through the door
definitely helped him win
perfectly.
that
Gets
round.
1 kill to Noel. Noel needs to learn that that's going to come out every round, because he's been picked off by that twice now.
Yeah,
Chamber ult coming out from Anthony, and I'm not sure if Tweefruit guy's ready for it.
it's definitely interesting that they know that that's where Ambo throws the eye every single round, and they don't prepare for it much at all. It seems like it takes a second for them to respond to it.
Ambo, a quick pre-fire through the wall, does not manage to catch Buki. Tweefruit taking a shot, I'm assuming towards tiles, but misses. Stoner trying to bait out a shot with a nice jump peek. That was really quick, but does not manage to get anywhere. Ambo peeking
catching out.
Buki with
Catching
util in his
Buki out with that
hand.
flash.
TP away. Stoner with a stinger. That is a investment right there. Stoner might pick that up. And they catch one-shot bow with a suppression, so they know where NEC is leaning, but that lurk up top mid, the mid presence. Tweefruit
Stoner
guy getting a quick kill.
Picking up
Or-
Ambo's Odin
Yeah.
and going back to a
Jeez.
rifle.
He is on a rampage right now, on a tear.
He is on 1 HP and a dream.
Last player standing.
Void
One enemy
ults onto
remaining.
the B site,
Spike
gets the
down,
spike,
B.
and it is left in a 1v1. I
This
really
is-
like what he's doing. If he can
This is
sit in the
very
smoke for a
similar
little
to
bit.
what he
10
did
seconds left.
last week, playing around with smokes and TPs.
Oh,
on
one
the
shot is
site.
so unaware.
And he doesn't
2
have time
seconds
to
remaining.
plant. so he can turn around and get that free money.
Oh, unbelievable plays by Void Damon. Really well played on his part. That ultimate to really just secure him. Gets the kill onto Stoner. Stoner calls backside, TP's right up into his smoke, and One Shot has no idea where he is.
Yeah.
Never thought to look in the smoke, never thought to push anything besides backside, and just textbook rounded with such little time. The pressure, too much for One Shot to handle.
That's why
And,
Void is so good on Omen. He knows how to play around like that. And that's so vital, especially when you want to play Omen at a higher level, is being able to play with those kinds of things a lot. Playing around with smokes, TPing into them, either with his basic teleport or his ult, and getting that ready to go. We see Japeth getting an early pick on Anthony, and then going for Stoner.
Gaddis getting Buki out of his ult.
See Japeth flanking with his ult. They have Spike down.
Gaddis
pop
might
of
get
Cat.
caught. Gaddis actually catches Noel. Raise ult into
Clears
Wine.
One
Boombot.
enemy remaining.
Quick kill onto
That's
Buki.
Buki.
And Jenny, One Shot. Gaddis. Nothing else needed to be said. That was a quick kill by him. I'm actually quite surprised that he caught Noel. I mean, Noel had a really quiet flank up into heaven to try and catch somebody rotating in, and Gaddis was just ready for it. 8-1 Champlain. Really dominant half right now.
I'm expecting it'll stay the same when they switch over to attack. They're able to, with that Omen, pull off some pretty funky and wacky plays on attack. I mean, Omen being able to kind of move a lot is really helpful to making attacks feel a bit more like kind of chaotic, and that can really help a team on attack.
Oh yeah, and that ultimate really putting pressure on the defender side to check their flanks, as it is so common. Interesting ult by NEC to push Ambo off of that angle.
Yeah, I think they noticed he loves to flank through there, and so they knew that because he didn't get that information, he was going to be in there. So they managed to ult him to push him out so that they could kind of make that space up.
Although they didn't decide to capitalize on that. Oh, they did. Noel is pushed all the way through into stairs. Japeth getting
has no idea.
caught off guard, and Stoner picking up Gaddis. I don't think they know that Ambo is still on B site though.
But it seems like they're pushing
All
more
the
towards
members
A
of
now.
Champlain are on opposite sides. Gets the dink off and the final.
Spike down mid.
Void trying his best. Gets another one. Gets two, but gets
standing.
picked by Noel on the flank. Ambo in a good spot. But Noel a little bit quicker.
He threw down that skimmy and just managed to make a really good timing play.
Ferrari peaked Ambo.
It seems like NEC is really really actually catching up a bit, kind of anticipating the plays, being able to analyze them, kind of like what we saw with Ambo. They knew he was going to be in there, and they managed to perfectly ult to kind of get him out.
I think Noel's going to spam back with that
Yeah, you
Odin.
see Noel with that Odin ready to respond to Ambo. I don't think he's
boy.
ready for it. And
Ambo's
he's sitting
not
in the
ready for this.
wrong spot.
Where are you?
Oh, spam come out a little early to try and catch Ambo off guard, but quickly rotates off as the haunt comes through. Tweet Fruit
Yeah.
guy getting a quick go and a Buki in top mid. Very crisp.
Noel definitely stopping that spam to get out of the way of that fade eye, but could easily be solved by having a teammate there to break it for him.
Ooh, Ambo with a nice kill with the Odin. Could he pick up Stoner? Decides to re-peek. Prowler decides to come out and catches Stoner. He knows he's still there. Japeth, a nice pick up in a mid, stopping the push. Tether gonna come out into B main, but not gonna catch anybody as the NEC players are
NEC
rotating
is
through
trying
tree.
to push A, and you see Void just anchoring.
In hell, under heaven,
Yeah, under heaven.
catches
Typical
the plant.
controller play.
Spike planted.
Gets
One enemy
bomb goes down.
I think he killed the
could
KO
stick.
as the KO was getting ready to
Oh,
ult.
bomb is being stuck, and Japeth ready to assist Void with that defuse and a quick round by
You could
Champlain.
barely see it from the animation, but as the KO put his fist together, he was in the
Last
process of
round
ulting,
in
and
the
Void
half.
managed to kill him, which also got his ult away from him, which means he won't be able to ult this round.
Really
Just
unfortunate for Stoner,
Really
but very good
good
for Champlain.
timing from Void.
And that's Champlain with 9-2. This is the last round of the half. Will they go 10-2, or will they have the 9-3? We will find out.
We will find out.
And Ambo again with the Omen
And
play.
you see he's a bit better prepared for a return. Odin kind of standing a little bit more off to the side.
There.
As there will be none that come through. Void Damon quick into wine. Gaddis attempts to molly, but hits the corner of the wall. Not quite what he wanted, but Tweefruit guy able to catch up a little bit of some slack.
And they
Gaddis,
know where Void is.
Void Damon waiting for the flash that comes inevitably too late, and Buki picks him off without much assistance. Gaddis dodges the ult, and I don't think they know he's here. Triggered a split, not present, but the spray control is, and he gets 2, 1 shot, getting 1 kill. Tweefruit whiffing, Buki getting 3,
See
and now it's
Ambo
Ambo.
coming up.
Not in a particular spot that I think
Buki's
they'd
out.
expect.
Not full health, but didn't heal, and unfortunately did get Ambo. With a pretty solid 4K from Buki, not gonna lie.
Yeah, and
Really
that is
impressive.
9-3 to Champlain, and Champlain only need what is it? I think
4
4
rounds?
Yeah, 4 rounds. I was gonna say 3, but you know, 13 rounds.
So realistically, according to statistics, it should be they'll win in the next 5 rounds. They'll get, you
They
know,
win pistol.
get their bonus, lose as the enemy team buys up, and then gets the next 2 rounds after that.
Yeah, statistically, they have to win pistol for that though.
But
And we'll see if they win pistol, and they do seem to be leaning towards a pretty quick B hit. I see the pings on the map, and I think they're lurking. They're waiting for that. They want that mid market control, and they're gonna push through market and go straight to B,
And
or
I
they could go
hate-
anywhere depending on where they
I
get
hate
some
to
frags.
jinx it though, but 9-3 curse is such a big meme in the Valorant community. The joke's that if you're up 9-3, you're going to lose.
Ambo with 1 kill, bringing Champlain into a 5-on-4. Japeth walking up Tweefruit, walking up Cat, Ambo into market. Tweefruit guy watching for a little bit of A aggression. The door is not closed, and 1 shot at Buki capitalized on that. Gaddis getting the kill in the defender's spawn, and I think Champlain might try and take this.
They're about to get pinched if that fade moves up. Barely sees Void. And now they're running A, which is completely free now.
Just a 3-on-3 post plant.
3 on
because Champlain
3.
will
but
have the
both
plant go down.
Gaddis and Void are both very, very low health right now. Easily a body shot from any kind of pistol could kill them.
Closes door, Anthony picking up the only full health player, and now it's a 1-on-3 with Gaddis. Does not manage to pick up 1. Buki with a quick 3K. He's got to be feeling crispy right now.
Oh yeah.
And that brings NEC to 4.
And one thing you definitely saw Champlain do on attack is that mid control, as we've been talking about this whole game, is how important that is. And I think they did unfortunately lose it a bit, as you saw that fade one-shot bot managed to kind of flank up on them. But I think they'll be able to correct their mistakes and kind of move on from that.
Yeah, and I think with their full save approach, saving as many creds as possible so they can buy into the next round with maximum efficiency, they're just going to try and deathball and overwhelm the SMGs, which is a little hard to do, but definitely possible with Tweefruit's hand cannon. Although this seems like a bit of a paper shredder. Both of Champlain's members caught by the haunt. Complete information, mollied out, and decisive round by NEC, but now Champlain going to the next with the gun advantage.
Yeah, I think the idea there, similar to what they do for their dish pinch, as they call it, on Fracture, is to just kind of like, if they're down on guns, they just kind of run at the enemy and try to overwhelm them in hopes of getting some of their big guns down, grabbing those and using those to take out the rest of the team. It worked on Fracture, it didn't really work here. They did have that Ares ready to go to just kind of mow them all down.
And I mean, such a close range map as well. Those pistols aren't going to be able to do as much versus SMGs and Ambo.
Oh yeah.
The Phantom Tweefruit guy getting picked off the tree, and Ambo throwing out the haunt to try and gain any sort of semblance of information. And Champlain are really stuck at the moment. Not a whole lot they can do. They don't have a whole lot of map control, and NEC smoking off tiles to gain them a bit of space, and top mid. They are taking mid control decisively, but Japeth might be able to catch Noel if the smoke dissipates a little too early. Or it could get caught. But I think they're aware that somebody's pushed up there for sure.
Hear a lot of util being used from NEC. They've been using brim smokes. They use their KO molly nade. Just a bunch of stuff that they've been using to try and find out
getting a nice kill into Noel. And the paint shells on the one-shot bot. Does not manage to pick up Anthony, but Gaddis gets one. Aware of the flank, but Buki manages to pick that up, and they did what Champlain did on Fracture, and they win 3 rounds straight in a row. And
Something interesting I've been seeing this whole game is Stoner's been really utilizing pings. Usually in games like this where you're playing with a full team, you don't usually see that unless it's for like lineup information, which is really interesting to me.
I think it's just to take a little bit off the back of him maybe calling. I mean, visually it's a lot easier to look at a ping and go, ah, there's somebody there, and maybe like just a bit of like clarification for what he's talking about if he's not as comfortable with the callouts. Although this is their map, they should be ready, and the Odin coming through from Noel, getting a bit of damage off. Anthony, not anyone to follow up. Tweefru guy not able to see the guy short, I don't think. Oh, he did. Wasn't quite reacting to it as quick as would have thought, but one backside on B gets mollied out. Gets mollied into the corner, manages to dodge it, gets another. Anthony picks up 4, doesn't get the ace here. Tweefru with 2 quick kills, but Buki cleans him up, and NEC is really coming back this half.
Man, now I'm starting to regret saying something about the 9-3 curse.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I didn't wanna do anything about it. I think that might be on you.
That is on me. But yeah, I think Champlain is really struggling here. I think they need to start. I think what they've been struggling with, in my opinion, is just they're kind of splitting up a bit. And that mid control is definitely important, but I think they're going too all in on mid control and not really focusing on getting the spike to site.
Yeah, I think that that mid control is important, but sending 5 people to go get it is really difficult. And I mean, quick flick from Jumpeth, nice shot, and the Fade Haunt coming through with Ambo, really assisting that, and Jumpeth managing to capitalize on that as well, getting a bit of damage down. One shot bot getting 2, trading out his teammates, and now this is just Void and Gaddis with only mid control. Prowler coming out, understands where they are, and Gaddis just kind of stuck. Flash coming through, but no capitalization on the side of NEC.
A lot of info about where One Shot Bot and Stoner are, but it still seems like they don't know much about where Anthony is.
They can probably guess that he's on the B site, but because of the fact that there's 2 people, at least from what they know on Tree, I think they're going to gamble and they're going to try and hit this B site a little bit quickly. I mean, Void smokes off market. Anthony has to be giving a little bit of info to his team about that. And Gaddis trading out Void, but now he's left in a 1-on-2 with no health, but he does have the ult.
So it looks like One Shot Bot and Stunner are going to be playing for retake here. You might see the Gaddis KO ult come out just to kind of see if they can hinder that a bit. Unfortunately, no. He gets the pick on One Shot Bot, but now is suppressed by the enemy KO. He's still waiting for the push
did not see him cross.
He's waiting for the push stairs while Stoner is up in lane.
A little bit of a misplay by Stoner.
For it.
A nice 1v2 from Gaddis. Stoner trying to shoot to mask the drop sound, but he did it a little bit mistimed, and Gaddis was just ready for that. He heard it, and he was ready. Stoner completely unaware.
They both were looking at the wrong side, and unfortunately Stoner made the noise that gave Gaddis the information he needed, while Stoner was still kind of didn't have the correct information to know where Gaddis was. The KO duel, though.
Really unaware.
It wasn't really a duel if Stoner didn't shoot back, but the KO 1v1, we'll call it that. And Champlain is really getting momentum again.
The KO coming out from Gaddis, really pushing in first, using his res potential.
Face your fear.
Ambo's ult coming out too. Quick pre-fire to the right side of door. Gets picked off by Stoner. Ult coming out into Gen. Really stopped. Counter haunt. Mark's jump head, he's got to be angry about that as he was just out of the range. Runs into Noel and Anthony and Buki, and Champlain seem to be really throwing this round away. Tweetfruit as well, caught by the Haunt, finally manages to be able to hear something again. A little bit of a pre-fire coming from Noel, but they know where he is.
They know exactly where he is, and he can't escape.
He needs 1 kill for his ult. Smokes off. Why? Okay.
You've
I
got
don't know.
that chamber watching with the
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go with that ult.
They need 3 rounds, and they're gonna have to struggle for it.
We might see a timeout here soon, just so that they can reconvene and get a bit of discussion about how this map has been going, especially on attack.
NEC opting to play a 2, or what are they doing now? I'm a little curious. They're going with a 2-3.
Still trying to do, yeah.
They're opting to leave the mid area open and contest it from tree with the trip down into mid. Haunt coming out, no Odin spam.
It looks like they're not ready for the fast rotate out of B main.
Really
See
quick.
the Brim throwing a stim, and then Japet going in after him.
Gets the kill onto Noel, and that leaves NEC with a nice wide open B site.
And it looks like Champlain is on a save.
TP's him back. One-shot bot gets traded by Ambo, and they know that they should know that Anthony should be backside. Tether coming out. They spot him with the Haunt coming through. Stoner gets 1, gets dropped, and a Thrifty coming out from Champlain, 11-8.
You can really hear, well, we can hear the shouts of the team as they've been kind of getting those wins back, getting back control of the game. It's really exciting to hear them get so excited. This is definitely a high energy team. They really feed off of it.
Oh yeah, they love playing together, and they gotta get a little bit rowdy. I mean, what's the point of playing on land if you're not gonna get rowdy with the boys?
I don't know how loud the like varsity main roster is.
They're pretty quiet.
Yeah,
they're
I was
pretty
gonna
quiet.
say without Joey. Joey's the one that's loud there.
It's still quiet even with him in there, to be honest, sometimes. But
seeing the academy boys getting all excited is definitely really fun to hear.
oh yeah, and they've got to be feeling good about that. I mean, that's another round that they really should not have won, and NEC just let it slip through their buttery grasps. Haunt coming out, not managing to catch Noel, but this smoke will fade soon, and we are not sure if Void is going to be ready for that. Prowler comes out, does spot Buki. Tether and Flash.
That
Buki
mid-smoke
gets
came
1.
down as Void moved out of Noel's line of sight, is right next to Noel.
Oh.
Didn't get the ult off, and Spike is
And Void
down.
was not able to teleport in time. Hesitated a little too long, and now they're going to have to retake that.
Really, really unlucky timing there. See Anthony waiting for that flank through their spawn. They can hear them running.
That is a very odd angle that they were not ready for at all.
Yeah, it's definitely
And
an off angle that you
Anthony.
see there.
This is another close game, and this will be Champlain taken to their limits again, 11-9. Very close. We have not seen a blowout like we're used to seeing with varsity. This is definitely a lot closer of a game, a lot more down to the tenacity of both teams.
A gift.
I think we might see the chamber here from Tweefruit guy.
His arms are shiny.
I'm so used to saying it and I still can't say it properly. That chamber up
Ult
is
coming
out
out.
and he is ready for kills.
He decides
he
to
can get-
swing tree, misses the shot.
But now they know where he is, and Noel is going to try and capitalize
Noel
on
gets
that, but fails.
Bombed. And Champlain grab the orb. NEC hears this. Rotates out of tree. Ult coming out through Gaddis. Flashbang out. Fully blinding. The Haunt coming in. Completely making Champlain aware. This is a textbook take from them.
That is a
What a
beautiful
5v2 with the
execute.
paint shells coming out. Stoner getting tagged up in the tether, keeping him in the paint shells. And Tweetfruit guy finishing the job. Quick execute from Champlain, putting them to match point 12-9.
So close to a Felino's flawless there. That's a really beautiful execute.
That was really well done, I have to agree.
Those are the plays I want to see more of, like have one person get that mid control control while the rest of the team goes to site. That way you don't have someone caught out with spike in mid, which if you lose spike in mid is incredibly hard to get back.
Especially with so many like corners. I mean, this map has so many corners that you need to check, so many angles that you can be shot from the back, from the front, from the side. I mean, from really anywhere.
Looks like we're going to see a very similar play here with Noel kind of waiting down mid for Tweefruit guy.
NEC does not seem to be aware that the same thing might be happening. Tweefruit gets a quick kill on a Noel. The same situation comes out. KO Molly to stun, or not to stun.
Anthony and One Shot Bot starting to rotate over.
They
kind
might
of
want to go
afraid of mid. They don't want to get picked out by Tweefruit guy.
Dropping in his ult. Does not realize that he is dead. Tweefruit and Champlain wins. That was really quick. I didn't even get some time to like react to that. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a very, very fast execute, and something that they really try to capitalize on that team is just getting those executes done well. We see Tweefruit guy at the top of the scoreboard again.
20 and 17, and that is
Absolutely
Champlain
beautiful.
at 13-9, 2-0 against NEC, and we have an interview coming up with Ambo.
Yep.
So we'll be excited to see that. And honestly, great game from both teams. This was a really close one, and I think we'll catch you.
Close games are always more fun for me to watch.
Oh yeah.
So watching that duel, especially when it came to that like toss up in the first round, when it came to overtime, super fun. But
oh yeah, the differential between the players.
Oh yeah.
And, how they use their abilities and everything like that. But yeah, great game, and I think we're gonna take a bit of a break, and then we'll cut back to the interview.